Greetings, this is Charles Darwin, and I'm in a prairie dog town in Wyoming. And there was a prairie dog that went right down this hole right here, and I have asked it very politely to come back out and say hello to us. Now, I don't know if it's going to do so. Hello? Hello? Come on out. We want to say hi to you. Anyway, the prairie dogs live in an interconnected set of tunnels underground, and that's a relatively safe place for them to be. Most predators can't go down in there. Some predators do, such as the black-footed ferret is narrow enough that it can crawl down through the prairie dog tunnels. And what does it do when it gets in there? Well, it waits until night. Once it's night, the black-footed ferret will go down into the tunnel. Meanwhile, the little baby prairie dogs are down in their tunnels saying, "Ah, the sun has gone to bed and so must I." And along comes the black-footed ferret and taps it on the head. And the prairie dog goes, "Hmm?" And the ferret grabs it by the neck and has a bloody mess. Well, anyway, so there are some predators that can get in there, but not as many predators as you might expect, because the prairie dogs post guards like that one right there. Post guards at the entrances of the tunnels. And then the guards will raise alarm signals. Oh, there's several of them around watching me. That's very nice. Anyway, this is an example of altruism, and evolution has a lot to say about altruism, because these guards are putting themselves at personal risk, thus protecting the prairie dogs that are down inside the tunnels, or are safe as a result of the risky, perhaps sacrificial behavior of the guards. And that's because the predators, when the guards raise a signal, that lets the predators know where they are, and the predators may then grab them. So how do you explain altruism? I'm not going to go into a complete explanation of that right now. You can read about it in other places. But the point is that even the prairie dogs that put themselves at risk, even if they happen to lose their lives as a result of this, their genes still get passed on by the other members of the community because they're all genetically related to one another. They are coming very close, aren't they? That's nice. Anyway, so altruism is doing good by doing well. Or is it doing well by doing good? But anyway, by helping other prairie dogs, these prairie dogs can enhance their own evolutionary fitness. And that's one of the ideas behind altruism. That's one of the things you can learn at a prairie dog town. Another thing that you can learn, hello, we're still waiting for you to come out and say hello to us, is the impact that animals can have on their environments. Now, we already knew that plants have a big impact on their environments. But animals can do it also. In the case of prairie dogs, they will dig these tunnels that'll allow aeration of the soil, allow drainage of water. Also, they fertilize the soil. Here's an example of some prairie dog fertilization right here. Okay? That's what you always wanted to see, wasn't it? And also, it even provides habitat for some other animals. For instance, burrowing owls live in prairie dog tunnels. As I understand, the owls do not actually burrow themselves into the ground, but they use the abandoned burrows. Also, the loosened soil allows a habitat for some kinds of plants. For instance, this plant right here, it's no longer in flower, but this is Sphaeralsia coccinea, cowboy's delight, as it's called, or the scarlet globe mallow. And this plant is small and it has shallow roots, but all around we have the short grass prairie, which has a sod of roots, 10 to 15 centimeters thick, and that's such a solid mass of roots and underground stems that small plants can't get started growing there. The only places that plants like that can grow is places where prairie dogs have dug up the soil, fertilized it, loosened it, and provided a place where small plants can grow. And also another source is when buffaloes wallow. Now, buffaloes, as you may recall, do not have hands. And so if they need to scratch parasites, all they can do is get on their side and wallow around in the dirt to try to scratch the parasites. But in doing so, they disturb some of the sod and allow smaller plants to grow. So animals, by doing their activities, such as digging tunnels and wallowing in the soil, are actually helping to create habitats for smaller plants and also for other animals. These are some of the things that we can learn about at prairie dog towns. This is Charles Darwin. Tally ho and amen.